we've seen all these people, defending the police, always talk about, oh, this person should have complied, da 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 da.
Mm.
And I realized something, because liberals get so tired of arguing with these people on Facebook, they feel like they're losing. And I'm here to tell you, stop arguing with these people on social media. You cannot win. You cannot win. And let me tell you why you can't win. One, they are not open to changing their beliefs
at all.
They think they're right. They are not open to, even if you present new information that directly contradicts what they think.
They're not trying to hear that.
It doesn't matter, because they have to stand by whatever it is that they stand by.
Right.
Two, they are not playing by the same rules as us. They are not beholden to facts,
ethics,
logic,
morality, none of that
or
shit.
morality. These things do not apply. So empathy for a man who was shot 7 times in his fucking back. There's none for you here. There's none for you here. And you can sit there and argue till you blue in the face. Even with facts, they will never change their mind.
And this is the thing that drives me nuts. Is like, oh, well, he had a criminal record, and he did this and he did that.
I'm sorry, the police cannot be judge, jury, and executioner. And they always talk about upholding the Constitution, the Second Amendment rights. The Constitution says you have a right to a trial.
Listen,
it doesn't say you get to get shot because we think you're a scumbag.
No, see, I don't care about none of that. I want to discuss this on their level. I want to discuss this on, okay, so you think terrible people should be shot on the spot. That's how you feel. You feel like, oh, he had a criminal record, he did XYZ, so when the cops found him, and he resisted, boom, kill, done. So let's take a little trip down memory lane. And let's look at all of these serial killers. Let's look at domestic terrorists who were taken into custody. Not killed, not injured, not beat, nothing. Ted Bundy, did he get shot? We know the terrible things that he did. Wasn't shot. Was Dahmer shot on the spot? Anybody?
Sure.
No? Nah, he went to jail, right?
Right.
Manson, they took him to jail. If you take the improbable and you eliminate that, whatever left, no matter how impossible, is fact. So it's like, if you look at these situations, you're dealing with the main differentiating factor is race. We're not talking about men versus women. We're not talking about low income versus high income. We're not, no matter what the situation is, the main dividing factor is you are treating Black people or people of color harsher than you're treating white people. And there's so much history, so much science behind why that's ridiculous, that it's scary, really. Let me hold on. Go ahead and give your thoughts, because I'm
the thing is, one of my favorite responses to this is the fact that they show countless videos of white people with weapons, white people wilding out on the police, and the police have infinite fucking patience in dealing with them. Oh my God,
yes.
Oh, fuck you, you pig, da-da-da, got a gun on their hip, and they're saying they're trying to talk to them and de-escalate. The thing that really pisses me off is these all lives matter motherfuckers. Oh, all lives matter? Then why the fuck are you not pissed off at another man gunned down in the street? All lives matter, right? But it was okay that he got gunned down. And this is why you guys are fake as fuck.
And what I don't understand is when you hear about black on black crime all the time. That's such a major thing that's brought up in the news all the time.
It's not a thing.
Black people kill black people and we don't hear anything about that.
And white people kill white people. So shut the fuck up.
And I've never heard the term white on white crime in my entire life.
Because it's called what it is. Crime.
And that's because when it's white people are normal. White people are the standard. So they never say white. They never give the race when it's a white person. They never say white male did XYZ, white female does XYZ. But when it's a black person, when it's a Spanish person, when it's an Asian person, they always want to specify. They always want to point that finger at a particular community so that the normals can say, oh, look at them doing what they do. Mm-hmm. But it's like, if you look at the science of it, serial killers don't typically jump racial lines. So all your serial killers, white males typically, are just killing white people. But
there we go.
But that's cool though. Oh, fuck that. Let them live.
Oh yes, and you know they love to paint us as black on black violence, and black people and other minorities are so violent. Well, I only have one word in response to that. Fucking history. Just history in general. Hey, we landed in America. Let's wipe out the indigenous people because manifest destiny. British rule in India. Pretty much all of Europe, you know, splitting up in fucking Africa for eons. Like, are you sure we the violent motherfuckers?
Let's talk about how Europe, how the white mindset ruined Asia. Just ruined
the whole sphere of influence. So don't try to put us like, oh, black people are so violent, black on black crime. You motherfuckers have been fucking up shit for years.
We've never dropped an atomic bomb on anyone.
Never.
Just saying.
So right is right and wrong is wrong. And you can't argue with the people who will not change their opinion or change anything, even with the introduction of new facts. Facts have shown not to have any effect whatsoever.
Right.
Oh, Donald Trump, he's a liar. What is he lied about? He tells it like it is. I don't know. Here goes the fucking here goes a page of 1,000 lies. Okay, and even when you say something apparent, oh, he said he was going to build the wall and make Mexico pay for it. How the fuck is that going so far? Oh, well, they're stopping him in the House of Representatives.
No. And this is how you could tell how ignorant your average American is. How they lack knowledge, how they lack understanding. They voted for Trump under the concept of him being a great businessman. He bankrupted a casino. Let me explain this to people who don't know any better. Okay, a casino, once you have the money, once you're able to get into that type of business, that is something that is near impossible to bankrupt. It's basically a license to print money. So much so that the Native Americans that they have damn near wiped out, that is one of their greatest sources of income, are casinos. And yet Donald Trump found a way to lose money and then have to close a casino.
Let's also not forget the fact that they can never operate a charity in the state of New York because they stole money from a charity for kids with cancer. These are the people we're dealing with. But you know what?
Fantastic.
Fuck them.
Love it.
We could talk about how fucked up the shit they done, you know, for fucking forever. And other sad news, we lost Chadwick Boseman.
Bruh.
A stand-up guy, scandal-free, and has been a source of great joy for African Americans in cinema. We're talking James Brown. He brought T'Challa, the Black Panther, Jackie Robinson. He was just in 21 Bridges last year. Did the Five Bloods this year. The guy he's just phenomenal in everything he did, and no one knew this, dies of colon cancer.
Honestly, this is a perfect example, and I hope this doesn't come across as negative. I hope this comes across as a lesson, because he was going through something so serious, so literally life-threatening, and no one knew. So when you look at all of these celebrities, when you look at all of these people who talk about how, oh, people are so in their business and all of this, if you want something to be private, it'll be private. And this is a perfect example of that. This man was literally dying to give us art. He was diagnosed at stage 3, 2016, 2017, something like that?
2016, 4 years.
Right. And in that time, gave us Infinity War, Endgame, Black Panther, and this is just the MCU. That's all I'm talking about. Civil War, you know what I'm saying? He was in all of these movies in between chemo, in between surgeries. Like, if you want something to be private, it'll be private. So I need all of these celebrities out there to pay attention to this. And it's fucked up that it comes in such a package, but it's like, your life don't need to be out there like that. You can give us the art that you give us. You can give us greatness without giving us your personal life. It's possible.
I mean, he was truly dedicated to his work. He was a master of his craft. And remember, in Endgame, he was he was a major part of one of the best scenes. And I know people don't put comic book movies in the same genre. They put things like, The Godfather or Gone with the Wind or these classic movies.
And they should.
They should. I mean, that the end of Endgame, when everybody arrives, Captain America calls for Thor's hammer. Let me hear you pronounce it.
Mjolnir?
Yeah, okay, just making sure.
No, I got you.
I test people now all the time, and so many people fuck it up.
Oh, yeah. You know who you fucking with. Like,
I'm just making sure. So, I mean, that scene started off with this saying, "Captain, to your left," and the first person to step through was T'Challa. Oh man! And every time you hear the, "Ye Bombay," I mean, that is, that is stuff that's going to stay with people for so long, because you know what, the MCU is going to have to be rebooted at some point. They're going to have to find a new Iron Man, a new Captain America. There's going to be a new Spider-Man,
which they were already in the process of, but it's just like and honestly, for comic book readers, I know that it's a little different for them because they knew that another Black Panther was coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you look at some of the articles, it was like, oh, he's upset that they're gonna recast Black Panther and blah blah blah. But it's like, if you knew about the comics, you already knew that these were things that are coming. You know about Riri as Iron Man. You know about Falcon becoming Captain America. Right. You know what I'm saying? So there's precedent to these things, but there's a lot of casual fans, and especially just like they're separate to the MCU, and they're just like, oh, but no, but this is the person, this is the guy, I want this. And that's not how comics work. I'm sorry, it's a harsh world.
He did a great job, and I'm telling you, I mean, I don't know him personally, but I would like to think that he feels that this character would have to be carried on. A lot of people is calling for the character to be retired. You obviously don't feel the same way. And neither do I. I'm pretty sure Marvel has big plans for this character. I mean, you can always bring in somebody else to play Black Panther. There's only going to be one Chadwick Boseman. He's always going to be the first. And his work is always going to be remembered for the great work that it was. I mean, this guy stayed scandal free. Right. You never hear no bullshit stories about him, and nobody had anything bad to say about him. Right. On cast, even when they were doing the Five Bloods, somebody hopped on Instagram and they asked Spike Lee, they're like, "Oh my God, how was you able to get this movie done when he was so sick?" He's like, "None of us knew."
Oh, exactly. None of us knew. And that goes back to what I was saying. It's just like, honestly, okay, so here's something that tripped me out when I read the article about his death. It said he was there, his wife and his family were there. And I was just like, shit, did I know he had a wife? I don't think I knew that. Like, I never considered it. And low key, it brought me back to, oh fuck, I hate to say this phrase because it makes me seem older than I am. I'm only 34, god damn it. But like, it brings me back to the old days where it's like, did you really care about actors or musicians' personal lives?
People always cared because people was always in famous people's shit all the way back to the beginning of time.
I mean,
But he chose to be. But some people are more private than others. I mean, think about it. There's some famous people out there we don't know. We don't know what the
we don't
fuck
know
they're
shit
dealing
about
with. We
them.
don't know shit about for a long time. Kevin Spacey was one of them. We didn't know shit about what Kevin Spacey was up to.
That was probably by design, though.
He was up to some fuck shit.
He was.
But that's not everybody. Think about Keanu Reeves.
Okay, see Keanu Reeves, but see we know what he up
his
to.
Own shit.
We know what he up to. He's over here riding the fucking subway, chilling in New York by himself, like just kicking it.
He'd just be mad. He'd just be chilling.
You're right.
I always fuck with him.
Keanu Reeves,
but
a goddamn legend and American icon. Like, all right.
Absolutely. But Boseman is going to be missed. Just the work that he's done. I mean, Jackie Robinson, James Brown, T'Challa. I mean, that is one hell of a hat trick right there for
right?
Black people. One hell of a hat trick. So
that shit, bro. It definitely hit different. Like I remember, cause my dude that I live with, he texted me, and he was like, Black Panther died, and I was like, the character, like, oh yeah, sure, he's gonna take over, whatever. And I was like, something told me like, nah, this ain't the MCU. This ain't the comic books. And I specifically looked up Chadwick Boseman, and when I saw it, I was speechless for a minute. And my girl asked me, she was like, "What's wrong? What happened?" And I was like, "Chadwick Boseman died." And it was like so weird coming out of my mouth. Like it didn't even feel comfortable to say. And it was just like,
yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I have a very similar feeling. I was, me and Monet was celebrating our 4-year anniversary.
Oh, congrats!
Lovely. Thank you. Yeah. You know, we had, a lot of candy and rose petals everywhere, and we're just chilling, watching TV. It was pretty great. You know, I mean, considering we had to pretty much stay in the house. You know, we ordered from one of her favorite restaurants, and
nice.
It was really awesome. And then she goes, "Oh my God, Black Panther died," and it's just like,
anniversary's
over.
Fuck.
Like. Just fucking sucks. So, big shout out to Chadwick and all of the work that he's done. May he rest in peace.
Right. Absolutely, man. Yeah, and if anybody deserves it, damn it, he deserves it.
Let's go ahead and talk about Black people in power. And that's going to be the sports strikes against, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, NBA, football players are talking about sitting out, tennis players, hockey players, everybody baseball
on
players.
It.
Everybody on it. What's your take of these sports? It's league wide in the NBA. Withholding labor in response to Jacob Black being shot.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I wish that it happened sooner. That's
right. Fuck with these niggas' pockets. Fuck with their pockets. Make them uncomfortable. Make it so they can't fucking turn away and keep the conversation going.
Please. Anybody who cares enough, go back to previous podcasts. You will see, I have said previously, there are 2 ways that you affect real lasting change. Violence or money. That's it. There's nothing else that changes those who are in power. That's
White
it.
people have been doing it for years.
And see, that's the difference, right? If you are oppressed, affecting money and power is all you got. But if you're in power, you have a third option. And your third option is empathy. And it's not something that people in power ever exercise. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, I might be too drunk. Fuck, we might get canceled. Whatever. So,
speak your mind.
So basically, we're in a position where Black people pray to God, they hope, and rely on a higher power to get those who are in power to willingly relinquish their advantage. It's never going to happen. Never. Never fucking ever. It's never happened. There's not a single example in history where someone is in power and they go like, man, these people are going through so much. I should spread my wealth. I should help these people. No one in power ever does that. Why? Because they're drunk on power, because they are humans. Every individual is a human. People look at these grand corporations. They look at Google and they look at Amazon and they look at Walmart. They look at all of these things and they think like, oh, they're so big, they're so untouchable. But there are people. It's like looking at the DNA of a person. No matter how big a person is, how strong a person is, if you break them down, they're all just cells. No matter how big or strong a corporation is, they're just people.
Just to jump in real quick, the only thing I'm thinking of is DNA versus K. Shine. When he was Professor Shine.
One of my favorite battles in the history of existence. My God.
That was a great scheme. Great scheme. But please continue, sir.
Yes. Damn. But yeah, like you look at these companies and it's like it all comes down to a handful of people. And if you can affect those handful of people, you can affect change. And you're seeing it for so many different reasons in so many different industries. You're seeing it in the NBA and you're seeing it throughout sports. Well, I'll just say that. You're seeing it throughout sports for social betterment. You know what I'm saying? Like for social equality. You're seeing it in the gaming industry for like sexual harassment and things of that nature. You're seeing it in wrestling, not just the WWE, because I know a lot of you think that that's the whole of wrestling, but no, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW, you're seeing
Combat Zone.
Oh, goddamn, good one.
Yep, still in it.
My man. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing it in a lot of these different places. People speaking up and people refusing to do business is affecting change. So I love the fact that not just the NBA players, but even when you look at like Kenny Smith, when he walked off the set, I felt that shit in my chest. And Charles Barkley is a son of a bitch. God damn it. He's so easy to hate. But even he, when he had to speak on it, he was just like, when a black issue comes up, I have to answer it every time. As a black man, I have to answer it, and it's tiring. When a white issue comes up, Tom Brady don't have to answer the shit. No one asks him, you know, oh, well, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? No. But when a black issue comes up, every black person in every single industry, in every seat, has to answer for that situation. And that shit is fucking tiring. And unfortunately, people don't see that difference. They don't see when Tom Brady is asked, well, what do you think about the Black Lives Matter movement? It's like, you know, I don't really pay attention to negativity in the world. I like to focus on the game. That's his privilege. He gets to do that. He gets to brush that shit off. We can't do that.
Textbook definition of white privilege.
That's what he lives.
Yeah, it's not like a MasterCard you pull out of your pocket. It's something you inherently have. It's the fact that you don't have to worry about a lot of issues because they're not going to affect you.
Exactly. And that's...
I know. It's exhausting having to keep explaining this shit to people. And let me tell you something. This is why you shouldn't and you do not have to keep explaining shit. They fucking know already. They know.
But they don't.
They do.
No.
They do it willingly.
No, they don't. No, yes, they don't.
They ignore the plight of African Americans willingly.
No.
They know what happened. They know our history. They know what happened. They know how we feel. They know why we're mad.
Nope.
And if they don't, they're fucking retarded.
No. Those who are higher up, Tom Brady knows. So yes, that's correct. Your average white American, your citizens of Indiana, Iowa, South Dakota, Idaho, Nebraska. In my heart of hearts, I don't believe that they know. Why? Because think back to when that kid came home and told his or her mother, I don't remember the details of it, but it was like they told their mother, like, yo, they said that black people came here looking for a better life. That was taught in a school in Texas, that they chose to come here for a better life. So if you look at what might be taught in individual schools, in individual cities, states, and things like that, there are so many people who don't know, because what they would have to do is they would have to look it up on their own, and who's going to do that?
You know what? You're 100% right there. I've never let education get in the way of my fucking knowledge. Never.
And that's the difference. That's the difference. For white people, there is a comfort in education is going, the school is going to teach my kids what they need to know. But in black communities, we've always known that school's not going to teach my kid everything that they need to know. And our parents always teach us more than the schools give us. The textbooks don't cover it. The teachers don't cover it, things of that nature. So we have to reach further. It's normal to us, but it's not normal to them. So there are literally white people in America in the digital age that have no idea how egregious, how terrible, how deplorable slavery was. They think that Africans came here as indentured servants. That's the understanding that they have.
Indentured servitude wasn't for African Americans.
No.
At all.
No, it wasn't, because we were dragged here.
You know, then it's their own fucking fault. If they knew better, they do better. But all I gotta say, people out there, you gotta speak up. You gotta shoot back.
Absolutely.
As in not taking people's shit.
Absolutely.
Or actually shooting. Whatever.
Oh shit. Okay.
Let's go ahead and move on. We've been on this for a little minute. Let's go ahead and get into something a little bit more lighthearted. And I'm so happy to talk about this.
Is it lighthearted? Is it really? I guess comparatively speaking.
It is. I took it lighthearted. People took this the wrong way. Joe Budden announced 2 episodes. He announced on Wednesday. His episodes come out Wednesday and Saturday. So on Wednesday, he said, as of right now, I can't tell you what the Joe Budden podcast is going to be.
But it won't be on Spotify.
It won't be on Spotify. He's pulling Joe Budden. He's pulling the Joe Budden podcast from Spotify. We don't know where he's taking it. He doesn't even know where he's taking it.
Respect.
And he goes into detail for about, I think, at least like 90 minutes.
Respect.
About all of the things that went wrong and why he feels the way he does. And the last episode that came out on Saturday, he goes into it more. Because I guess he thought a lot of people took it the wrong way.
How could you take it the wrong way?
I don't know how people took it the wrong way. They're like, oh, there's a lot of people on the internet was like, oh, yo, you dumb. You should have took the bag. Because they had to offer him somewhere between the $10 to $20 million amount.
Right.
Joe Rogan got $20 million. Joe Budden has been the #1 podcast on Spotify for the last 2 years. So
for forever. Since he got there.
You got to think that it's somewhere between 15 to 20. Because Joe Rogan is probably the only handful of people who's doing better numbers than he is.
Well, but you have to look at the fact that Joey got there first. Joey was the first to sign that exclusive deal. at that level. You know what I'm saying?
Now, this is where I think people got it fucked up at. I think people think that, like, oh, because he won't be on Spotify, shit's gonna be fucked up for him. Let me tell you something. I remember when it was Joe Budden TV.
Come on, man.
I don't know where people got the idea that they are going to be in a bad spot.
Come on, fam.
At all. Let me tell you something. Even if he decides to go independent,
which is what he should
he's going to do fine, because all he has to do is initiate the ad revenue. How many ads you hear on the Joe Budden podcast? 0.
And that was part of the Spotify problem there.
Exactly. He explained why he didn't allow his episodes and in the back catalog of his episodes to be monetized in that way without his say so.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted all of the metrics. He wanted all of the information about all of the streams. He got the information he wanted. I don't understand how people are taking it like, oh, these guys are going to be fucked up now. Wherever the JBP lands, it is going to be monumental.
It's bang.
And as a podcaster, how are people not seeing that what he's doing is for people who's podcasting?
And this is what angers me so much is if you look at a lot of the times when an issue arises, when an issue comes up, it's people who aren't involved in the situation that talk the most. It's people who don't listen to the Joe Budden podcast that want to talk the most. And they're like, oh, you do a podcast, podcaster. So like, whatever, you should just get that money. No, he fucking shouldn't. And he's been talking about not just advocating for music artists, but advocating for creators in general. That has been a platform for his show from jump. And what he's doing right now is going to make shit better for you and I. Because whatever he does next is going to determine what our future looks like.
Exactly. One of the dopest things is like, yo, if they're willing to give you 20, 25 million, how much are you really worth?
Right. Talking about a company that just said to music artists, oh, you need to make more content if you want to make money. That's the same CEO that said that shit.
Now check this out. How long is a normal album?
I would say anywhere between 35 minutes to an hour.
Right? Maybe an hour plus. I mean, you got classics like Hybrid Theory wasn't more than like 45 minutes, and the new Nas album was only about 40 minutes,
right?
Which I thought was a great idea too. But
good call.
Yo, Joe Budden podcast run 2-3 hours,
right?
Every day,
and they do that twice a week. You want to talk about content? Like, come on.
And think about it. You got somebody like me who. Like I remember Joe Budden TV, and I remember when it was named. I'll name this podcast later, And I took a long break, and one of the things that I have the most fun with now is I started maybe 15, 16 episodes back, but in between the week, I just get to replay all of these old episodes, and that shit is so much fun. I did the same thing with the Rosenthal Gentlenik Vanity Project.
Right.
I started off in the middle, and then I got to go back to that first podcast and just, get to hear all that stuff. And that shit is great. And imagine if that shit was all monetized. I mean, how many people are doing that?
Bruh.
How many people are going back to listen? And, they got a couple classic episodes that every fan needs to listen to. But have faith that he knows what he's doing. I mean, the whole Complex thing went because it's similar matter. He wasn't like in how the money was split up.
Oh, the Everyday Struggle joint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He left Everyday Struggle and only did better with his own podcast. He's only doing better. So
and this is the thing. Like, I okay, this might be a weird jump, but fucking, I'm gonna make it. Like, I remember watching shows like X Factor or like American Idol and stuff like that. And one of my clearest thoughts was you can't allow talentless people to vote on talent. And And you have these people who don't understand what goes into a podcast, what goes into the knowledge that these people have, the things that they've done behind the scenes that you've never fucking seen, the interactions that they've had with people that you just hope and pray and dream about being in a room with. They have been there. Between Maul, Joey, Rory, and fucking Parks. Like, bruh, Parks's fucking drop is...
It's Parks.
Is bruh. That's Jill Scott, my nigga. Like, what? How many dudes wish that they could hear Jill Scott say their name with that much excitement? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are people who are tied into things at a level that we can only imagine. So it's like, where, like you said, wherever they go, wherever they end up, whatever they do, though they are marking new territory, you gotta have confidence in what they're doing, because there's no
confidence in themselves. Their confidence in themselves. They're laughing like, what? Like, we're good,
right? You doubting us? Fuck out of here.
Enough to say they're leaving Spotify when they have 6-7 episodes left, and then continuously rake Spotify over the coals
until the contract is up. Like,
exactly. You think these guys don't have a plan? You think these guys, worst case scenario, don't have a landing spot? And check this out. I think whatever they're going to do is going to end up changing the podcasting game. They'll kind of the same way Chance the Rapper did. Could Chance the Rapper showed everybody you could do this without a label?
And what's really going to matter here is, are people going to pay attention? Because if you look back, you could see Mac Miller, you could see Macklemore, you could see shit, even Lupe. Fuck that. Before all of that, you could see Prince. Prince went independent. He left Warner Brothers, and people thought he was out of his fucking mind for leaving Warner Brothers. And he was caking to a level no one could even conceive. But people, I'm gonna be honest, people in the Black community do not feel accomplished unless they get that white pat on the fucking shoulder. And it's like, unless there's...
And plus it's a bag of money.
Right. They want to see the immediate.
When people see a bag of money, I remember watching the Don King biopic that was on HBO, and that he was talking about, most people will take a briefcase of $500,000 in large bills versus $1 million check any day of the week. Any day of the week, he said, almost 100% hit rate. If you say you gonna have this check for $1 million or this $500,000 in cash in a briefcase, most people would take the $500,000. And when people see that bag, they're gonna take it. And I don't knock a lot of people, because I tell you right now, Spotify came up right now and said, "Hey, yo, we give you a bag for $224 in the basement." For us in our situation, that would be the best move. No. But Joe knows his worth. Nope. Now, speaking of knowing his worth, Charlamagne the God felt a certain way about that. So he said, Joe Budden always preaches about, contracts and knowing your worth. He said he has to know how to negotiate his work. Joe talked about, wanting to take vacation days and it was vetoed, and that Spotify offered them used Rolexes, but didn't actually get any of them, shit like that. And he felt like Joe should have negotiated that, being for the fact that he preaches about contracts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Joe laid into him about it. He was like, "You don't understand the situation." He said, "You just don't know what you're talking about."
And this is what I was talking about before. Like, when you talk about behind closed doors, when you talk about the deals that are being made, and you're talking about, like, all we see is the end product. We hear the podcast, we hear the music, we see the movie, we see the TV show. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't see documentaries and shit on that until like 10 years after shit has been done. Shit is successful. I would love to see
the Joe Budden movie.
Bruh, that shit would be fucking amazing. Like, what? Going from him being on Angel Dust and shit, and like him fucking up his Def Jam contract, and there's so much to the Joe Budden story that would be amazing. But like,
exactly.
But like in this situation, it's like, Charlamagne, you good where you at, and you've been lucky, not lucky, but you have taken advantage of a lot of the things that have been presented to you. And I can't say that Charlamagne has done anything new. He has not blazed any trails. Joey is blazing trails. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
100%. And I think you said it best earlier. He's going to end up being the blueprint for how a lot of people handle these things going forward. I mean, I think Joey understood the podcasting landscape before a lot of people did.
Facts. Just like he understood the online landscape before a lot of people did.
When it came to people there.
Right. Like he was on MySpace out here putting out mixtapes and all of that shit, and people was laughing at him.
The only thing I want to know is where you guys are going to land at, because if I got to go get a subscription, I'm going to go get it. Like, fair, I would dead my Spotify shit. Like, yo, you think Spotify has that much more songs over Apple Music or Tidal? I'll be fine. Like, I'll figure it out.
Honestly, if he goes to Tidal, I would absolutely cancel my Spotify.
I don't think Tidal is going to be the move, because you mentioned it on the pod. But listen, those guys, the thing I love about it the most is they're betting on themselves.
Right. And I respect that.
And just with the confidence that they're doing it with, I believe them.
Absolutely.
I don't think we got to worry about the Joe Budden podcast.
Absolutely. They good. But if we gonna talk about Jay, though, if we're gonna talk about Tidal, and we're gonna talk about people maybe, I don't know, using their power above others.
So
let's have a conversation about coincidences.
Coincidence. We are all aware, and we talked about this last week, about Jay-Z dropping projects. I think it's something like 6 or 7 projects on when Nas is dropping projects. Now, Nas just did an interview with the Breakfast Club, and Nas is a smooth brother. He just says like, "Oh,
so diplomatic."
So they asked him about it. He's just like, "Yeah, I just think me and Jay, we probably work around the same time." And he kind of gave a non-answer and kind of skirted the issue.
We ain't gonna do that shit here. So anyway,
no, not at all. Come on, Jay's dropping shit. He's dropping projects on Nas's days on purpose.
That's purpose. That's purpose.
And granted, only about half of them was like real projects. The other half were just like this last time. It was just a single with Pharrell, which was trash. It was the equivalent of dropping Super Ugly against Ether. So I think Nas is being a class act by not really acknowledging it and kind of giving Jay a pass on that. I don't think Jay would ever address this unless asked directly by somebody.
Even if no, because if he was asked directly, he would come up with some bullshit reason for why it happens.
He dropped the album today? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Oh, we not in communication like that, so I didn't really know when that was gonna happen, and stop. Like,
stop it. It's bullshit. You're doing it to let them know that you can still do it.
There is a forever pettiness that is happening, and it's. I don't even want to say that it's unfortunate, because it's not like it's fucking up Nas's shine.
No, not at all. It makes it's funny.
It's funny, right?
It doesn't make Jay look super terrible. It doesn't make him look a little arrogant and a little asshole-ish, but somebody with that much power and money, you could probably expect some of that.
Right. And honestly, like, to me, it goes back to like it goes back to like the 90s, early 2000s. Like, I mean, if you think about like the Kanye 50 Cent shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a level of promotion. It's a level of just like friendly back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure they be on the phone with each other. I'm sure they be like, "Oh, you dropping?
Yeah,
watch this." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's nothing wrong with a little bit of friendly competition,
right? And like I said, it's not like it's hurting Nas's pockets. If Jay was fucking up Nas's pockets, if he was like, let's say like, Jay is head of Def Jam and like Nas is under Jay or whatever, and he's like pushing his album back to drop something, that's different.
That would be different. That's taking it a little bit too far.
Right.
This is more. It seems more playful, more friendly, rivalish.
Right. It's just some dickhead shit.
Yeah, that's fine. Nas is on Mass Appeal now, and Mass Appeal does stuff like Pimp C Records or Dave East. What the fuck ever happened to Dave East?
I don't know, man. That's actually a good fucking question. I mean, shit.
I understand the last album, like the full-fledged album, wasn't as amazing as people thought it might be, but I enjoy his voice. I think he's a good rapper. He just kind of seems, what the fuck is Dave East at?
I mean, hey, honestly, if J. Cole is gearing up for the NBA, Dave East might be looking for it, because that was his original plan. Dave East was originally going to be going to the NBA. Like,
it was Cameron's original plan too. Speaking of Cameron, did you see that freestyle he did on YouTube?
I did not. Cameron.
Go see the freestyle he did on just a random Harlem street in YouTube, and tell me what you think. I want to talk about that next week. Actually, go to my Facebook. I reposted it on my Facebook. And tell me what you think, because I fucking loved it.
I was gonna fuck around and play that shit right now. Like, I was.
It's kind of long.
Okay.
It's like 7 minutes or something.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah.
But it's him just on the street, like somebody with the camera out.
Oh.
And he's going in.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Like you think Cam, my shooters with the Hoover, but not. He was
get shot at. Call me, I do the shooting. Nah, don't. I fuck with the Purple Haze album. Fuck that. Like,
I love that song. But we made a big thing about how great the Nas album was.
Yes,
and I said it was the best hip hop album of the year. Second best album of the year, because Fiona Apple is still up there with me.
If you don't, bruh. I'm not gonna fly to fucking Savannah to fuck you up.
You are going to be so mad when she win 900 Grammys. Also, tonight is the VMAs. I know it's gonna hurt.
Oh my god!
You gotta watch it because we gotta talk about it.
I'm not watching shit.
You gotta watch it. We gotta watch it.
No, I'll read the articles about it. I'm not watching it.
If we're gonna comment on pop culture, we gotta watch the pop culture shit. Trust me.
I'm not watching it. I promise.
Trust me. I know it sucks. We gotta watch it.
I'm not watching it. We're talking right now. If we're talking right now, there's no way we're watching it. We're watching highlights.
Fam, stop it. I would download that bitch and put it on a Google Drive so you can stream.
Do y'all see the shit that I deal with? See the threats that he puts on me?
How about this? You don't got to watch the whole thing, but at least watch the highlights.
That's what. No. I'll totally Sports Center it. Like, I'll watch the highlights. Like,
they need the Sports Center more shit. They really do. But back to Nas. So, Nas is the best hip-hop album of the year. Second best album of the year, behind Fetch the Bolt Cutters by Fiona Apple, which is just masterful.
You said that without laughing, and I don't know how. Like, that's amazing.
You're going to be so mad when the Grammys come. You're going to be so mad. You're going to be so mad, and I'm going to laugh.
Oh, my God.
Hysterically. One of those, like all the way from there. But back to Nas.
Yeah.
Best hip-hop album of the year.
Yes.
And I got on the internet, said that, and some people wasn't feeling that. I had a significant amount of people say Freddy Gibbs had the album of the year.
Oh, my man Stick. My man Stick. He gave us, Braxton Books. He hit us up and he was like, yo, you need to check that Freddy Gibbs. That Alfredo was kind of crazy.
Now, I know who Freddy Gibbs is. Yeah. I don't listen to a whole bunch of his music. I don't remember specifically disliking a whole bunch. I remember thinking he was cool. Never really listened to him that much. And I went back and listened to the Alfredo album.
I listened
to album.
I listened to the Bandana earlier this year, which was shit kind of hit, and then came back for the show, and I was like, okay, Alfredo. It was a suggestion given to us direct comment on the YouTube channel. Said, nah, you need to listen to Alfredo. And I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna check it.
And people said it all over my Facebook and stuff too. So I checked it out, and the album was great. It was amazing. And trust me, in the world of, and I'm not saying anything bad about him, but in the world of the Babies and Meg Thee Stallion, Freddie Gibbs was going off. I fucking love the album.
He black.
Most of it has made it into my current playlist.
I,
But I still stand firm when I say Nas still had the best album of the year. I listened to Alfredo and I loved it. Loved it. I'm still with Nas on this one.
I'm gonna
love the album though.
I gotta learn how to juggle. I have to learn how to juggle because it's between Alfredo, King's Disease, and Run the Jewels 4. That's where I'm at right now.
Run the Jewels 4. You know, I would put Run the Jewels 4 and Alfredo more in contention with each other, but I still will put Nas
above
over both.
Oh shit! And I mean, like, okay, so the Run the not Run the Jewels, Alfredo, like, bruh, I
loved it. I loved the whole vibe. Loved it.
Off top, I don't think there's been an album where I've just like, I got annoyed. I got annoyed listening to this album because I had to keep picking up my phone to like songs. I wanted to just put it down and I just wanted to listen. And I was just like, shit, wait, what is this? Oh, no, like that.
Real quick, Alchemist produced the whole thing, right?
He did.
And we all know Alchemist because Alchemist was one of the main dudes that Mobb Deep used when they were starting off. Mobb Deep put him on the map.
Yes.
And he did a lot of work on those Mobb Deep mixtapes.
And you can hear that flow, that influence, that vibe, that atmosphere that he brings. And
absolutely.
Bro.
It was great. I have nothing bad to say about the Freddy Gibbs album.
Listen,
Alfredo was great.
Honestly,
I still don't put it above Nas though, in my personal opinion. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Freddy Gibbs. Like I said, I love the whole entire joint, but that's where I'm at with it. I still stand where I'm at. But it's definitely my top 5 for the year.
Easy. Oh, easy. That's
easy top 5.
That's not up for debate. But like, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, bro, the Frank Lucas joint with Benny the Butcher was hard.
Benny the Butcher doesn't drop any bad verses. I mean, that guy is like, he really has the Midas touch for somebody who doesn't give a fuck about making a single.
And
he's just like, oh, what is everybody bumping? Trap beats and shit? I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
I got this.
And it's all hard.
So, okay, so you got Frank Lucas. Right after that, you got something to rap about with Tyler, the Creator.
I love you know what? Is Tyler really growing on me? I don't know.
Tyler's features. Tyler's features are making me want to go back and listen to Tyler shit. Like,
see, and when Tyler first came out, I mean, don't get me wrong. What was the name of the one we had like the roach on him? He was hanging himself. Yonkers.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that shit was crazy, but at the same time, just like, he's a little off. I don't really know if it's for me.
Right.
I haven't really fucked with Tyler that much. Even though usually when Tyler makes a feature appearance, he usually kills it.
He's the Method Man of the new era.
Except on the Game album. That Martians versus Goblin shit. He could I guess it wasn't that bad. But
that shit was hard. What?
Like, I like his features, but I can't really see myself listening to a whole album of this shit.
Honestly, I might have to go back and listen to a whole album of his shit. Like,
I think I'm more willing these days.
Facts.
Look, I don't have anything negative to say about the Freddie Gibbs album. Great project, and I one of the things I love it. I love the overall. It feels like a project. Like this is a self-contained project, and sometimes that's missing from some of these new albums. And that's something I feel like Run the Juice, I feel like having common with all of these, my top 3 rap albums of the year. And Alfredo, King's Disease, and Run the Juice 4. These all feel like self-contained, overall themed projects. And I love that shit. Love it. Don't get me wrong. I understand that that's not always the case. When we did the J. Cole album, wasn't an overarching theme.
Oh, no. It the Dreamville project.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I meant, the Dreamville project. And that's okay because that was the project itself.
Right.
But I'm still a big fan of these overall, projects. And I'm becoming a much bigger fan of these one producer projects too.
Yes.
And something, because
it gives you a vibe.
Remember when Timbaland would do an album? On a Lean album, a Justin Timberlake album?
Jesus.
Fam, remember when Dr. Dre would do an album?
When Swiss would do an album?
Fam, I'm a big fan of these. I would love to see these more and more and more going forward. So no hate I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put, two kings, versus each other.
Right.
I'm just stating my opinion. But guess what? Being a fan can be really, really great. Go and enjoy all three. Go and just enjoy that shit. Bump
Honestly,
that shit.
that would be the ideal way to live your life. Like,
facts.
Enjoy Run the Jewels 4, enjoy King's Disease, enjoy Alfredo, enjoy them all, and just like really be rejuvenated. Because that's honestly that's how I felt. Like, I was like, for the longest time, I felt like the mainstream just didn't have anything for me. And I'm just like, nah, but here are some mainstream, here are some legends that are out here kicking shit that appeals to me. And they're doing it in a format that a lot of these newer cats are doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, these albums are pretty short, very palatable. And
I find, because at first, I think coming up, you always want the album to be longer, so you will have more value for your purchase.
Right, some interludes, some
exactly.
skits, and all of that.
But with these more lyrically inclined acts, I'm really enjoying the shorter formats, because the shorter formats means you may not need a third hook, or you may not need a hook at all. Go in there and just spit. And then throw in a 3-minute song, with a hook that's more classic. But I've been enjoying it.
I've been loving it.
The landscape of music has changed so much over the past 20 years. Some good, some bad. I'm always going to be a fan of the music. I did a long time producing and stuff, so I hear beats different.
Right.
And it's annoying. It's so fucking annoying. Once you start making beats, you hear, oh, what synth is that? Oh, why do you do that with the hi-hats? Really?
Honestly, and
it's so different.
This is something that I love about the Joe Budden podcast. Like, when I hear Joey say like how he listens to music different now as a retired rapper compared to when he was in the industry, like, I consider myself still in it. I still make music. I still do this. So when I listen to somebody spit, when I listen to their flow, I listen to it with a different ear. When I listen to their production value, you know what I'm saying? I don't have the ear maybe for beat making and stuff, but I can tell you when someone's overall production value isn't up to scale. And it does hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you listen to an artist that you like and you're just like, oh God, wait, no, hold on. Who did this? Wait, no.
And usually the lyrical motherfuckers are the people who suffer from that.
Yes.
Eminem had it so good because he had Dre.
Right.
Can you imagine Eminem trying
without
to rap
Dre
over DJ asshole MC from Detroit, 6 Mile? Nobody would want to listen to that shit.
Best of luck, bro.
You got a Dre beat and Dre coaching you on how to ride that shit. Winning.
Huge difference.
Exactly.
Difference.
Cannabis also had a big problem with picking beats. And Nas.
And hooks.
And Nas, who is revered as, don't get me wrong, there's a good portion of hip hop that would say he is the best rapper ever. But I think almost everybody got him in the top 5. It doesn't matter what coast you from or whatever. Nas is that dude. And he's had a problem with picking the proper beats.
Facts.
Sometimes.
Facts.
So, yeah, you got a lot of stuff got to come together to make a decent album. You know what I mean?
It's
tough.
It's there's so much more to it than I feel like your average fan really realizes. And a lot of people just look at it for the overall thing. They don't look at it, piece by piece. They don't give respect where. But
then they're also not supposed to. The artist goes through all of those. The artist goes through all of that shit to present you with a project, and you're supposed to take that project
as the whole.
You hear it, that's the vision. Now I know not every project is like that. Like I said, some projects, the project is that it's pieced together with a whole bunch of other shit, or somebody like a DJ Khaled, where the whole project is showcasing other people's art that you manage and put together. So there's levels to the shit.
Right.
But I've always enjoyed the fact of the overarching theme. Like this project is like a movie, and it's self-contained, and I always like that. It doesn't mean I dislike the way other projects are presented, but I always felt this. So, big shout out to all of these acts. They are killing it.
Absolutely, without question.
Let's go ahead and move it away from music, and let's turn it into shit that each other didn't see. So you watch some shit that I didn't watch that I will.
Okay. Yes.
Tell me about it.
So, me and Rook, we were going back and forth, and I'm gonna lightly touch on what's gonna end up being my recommendation later. My brother, our brother, Rook Nash, suggested to me to watch this anime called Food Wars, right? And basically,
Wait, anime?
Yeah, it's an anime. Yeah, right.
Food Wars.
Yeah.
It's not a cooking show.
Yeah, right. Sounds bananas, right? Okay, but let's realize that we also grew up in an era where there was a show called Fighting Foodons. And if you remember that, you remember it. If you don't, you're probably too young for me. Anyway, so in Food Wars, you know what I'm saying? What they do is they present the anime epicness with real live cooking techniques, which is absolutely amazing. Like, I've learned so much from watching this show that I'm probably going to have to watch it 3, 4, 5 more times before I start actually putting it into my own cooking, which I will. And
what format is this on?
Well, the first season is available on Netflix, but if you go on Crunchyroll, you can watch it free with advertisements.
Between you and Jooms telling me about Crunchyroll,
bro, Crunchyroll.
I know. Listen, I know it's awesome, but check this out. I don't got time to get into any more anime,
bro.
I haven't watched any new anime in a long time.
But it's free though. Free is amazing. It's
100% free.
It's free. Like, you have to sit through commercials, and unfortunately, like they will play the same commercial back to back to back at least 3 to 4 times, and you will get extremely sick of it. And then you'll start to like the beat of the commercial, so it'll be more tolerable. But
they just keep drilling it in.
Right. I'm still never gonna buy that product, but the commercial, fuck, it sucks. But it's free. And Food Wars is fucking amazing. So he wanted me to watch
Attack on Titan on Crunchyroll.
Probably. I feel like it's also on Hulu. I don't know. I haven't watched Attack on Titan in a minute. Although Attack on Titan Abridged is hilarious on YouTube, and Abridged series.
Yeah, you put me on the Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Oh my god, it's so good. But anyway, okay, all right. Back to my original point. So yes, he wanted me to watch Food Wars. I started watching Food Wars. I wanted him to watch a show on Netflix called Midnight Diner. That's my shit. So, Midnight Diner is about a small little hole in the wall kind of shop. It only has one item on the fucking menu. I can't even tell you what that item is because no one fucking cares, and I don't think anyone's ever ordered it. The point of this restaurant is it's only open from midnight to 7 a.m. And you would think, no one's going there. Get the fuck out of here. But he is constantly full of customers. And the highlight of the show is a combination of these individual foods that he cooks based on client desire and the stories that these individual people have.
Is this an anime?
No, and that's the shit. It's live action.
Interesting.
And I think that's what really immersed me in it. It was seeing these people living these slightly dramatized but very relatable stories based around a particular dish.
It's an anthology.
Yes.
It's Japanese.
Yes. So you have...
Is it dubbed?
No. It is not. It is not.
My kanji is not really up to date.
It's
So-
subtitled. You'll be fine. Like, get the fuck out of here. But no, it's what I think is really dope about it is like it's in total between Midnight Diner and Midnight Diner Tokyo Stories. It's 5 seasons in total. And what you see is a general progression of like getting to know these characters, getting to know this restaurant, getting to know the owner, simply known as Master. You never, ever find out this guy's name.
I have a question.
Go.
Do some of the same characters through this anthology keep making reappearances?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like you start to develop connections with certain characters. You start to like hope certain things for them. You get so entranced in it, and what I love about it is it's just so low key. There's no like fighting drama. There's no like, oh, I hate you, you stole my man, you know, it's no like crazy drama like that. There's melodrama to it, but at the end of the day, like there's this feeling of community, and it's like just so low key, and it's refreshing to see people connect and interact with each other the way that they do in this show. And especially I would think for a Western audience, watching this show is kind of cathartic, honestly. So I would say if you need something peaceful to check out, you need something outside of maybe what you normally do, Midnight Diner and Midnight Diner Tokyo Stories on Netflix. That's that shit, yo.
I'm gonna check it out because Netflix is hitting. But the thing that I seen that you didn't see isn't on Netflix.
It is not.
So it's going to be
which
on
was
HBO.
part of the problem.
Yes, and HBO Max, which I was fucking ordering, but I realized it's not on Roku. It's really pissing me off. I have a Fire Stick, but I gave it to the oldest. Yeah, it's not on Roku.
Oh,
you can
shit.
get the HBO app, but not HBO Max.
Oh, fuck.
So I don't get any of that extra shit. But, you know, my oldest is upstairs, got the Fire Stick. Watch whatever the fuck they want. But I also have a computer right here, and my TV's right here, so...
You can do what you want.
Yeah, but, you know, it's kind of nice to not have to, like, hook up different wires and shit. You know, it's fucked up. Well,
right.
But, I watched Queen and Slim.
Which I had no idea existed until you told me about it. And then I saw that trailer, and my brain still hasn't recovered.
Yeah, so I'd seen the trailer, and I knew I wanted to watch the movie, but I kind of forgot about it. So I know it's starring Daniel Kaluuya. We all remember him from Get Out. I don't remember the female actress's name, even though she did an amazing job. I'm going to go ahead and just Google that silently while I'm still talking about it.
Oh, I was going to say, I got you while you talk about it.
Oh, you got it? All right.
Yeah.
All right, just let me know when you find it. So the story is about a young African-American male and African-American female.
Jodie Turner Smith.
Jodie Turner Smith. And she was in something else, too. I don't know what it was, but she absolutely was phenomenal in this. But this black male and female, they're on their first date, and they get pulled over. While they're pulled over by a cop who's jittery as fuck and takes a shot at the female. In defense of the female, our protagonist, Daniel Kaluuya, Slim, kills the officer. And they go on the run. So this is a kind of a Bonnie and Clyde on the run, you know, road trip story. Between people, mind you, this is a first date. And this first date is this first date is less than 50-50. It's like 40-60. Not going in really the right direction. I want to talk so much about this movie, but I really don't want to give too much away because it was such a joy to watch.
Because we spoil the shit out of things.
We spoil
on
it
here.
for a lot of people, but if you haven't seen it yet, I kind of don't want to fuck it up. But I'm just going to say it's a formula that we've seen before. We've all seen the Bonnie and Clyde. We've all seen the road trip stories. We've all seen the will they or won't they? If they didn't like each other at first. We've seen all of these elements before. Now throw in, the race relations.
Right.
Throw in the on the run. And all I'm going to say is fantastic pacing. Fantastic. I mean, this movie probably wasn't even really super expensive to make either. But direction also. Great direction, great music to go along with it. This is a movie where all the music notes hit so perfect.
Nice.
They don't oversell anything too much. They don't foreshadow anything in music too much. Like, when you're playing a video game, you hear that, high pitched violin.
Something's about to go down.
Yeah. and all of a sudden they're resupplying the fuck out of you.
Right. Then there's the same point.
Like, all right, shit's going down. And so I notice a lot of times in movies, music can telegraph a little bit too much sometimes. Right. Which is all in the direction of it's all with the director, because do you want to let the audience know what they're about to get into, or should you keep it secret? And these are all the little decisions that the directors and the producers make to make the
and editors. I'll give them. And
the editors, let's not forget about them.
Yeah.
To make the movie a more immersive and enjoyable experience. And let me tell you something, because also, while learning how to do film, just like I said with music production, how I hear music different.
Right.
I now watch movies a little bit different.
Really?
So I'm watching because I've been studying a lot about filmmaking and video, because I've been getting into photography. So
that's right. Yeah.
So I've been learning more and watching these videos. So I learned about, how movies use, two colors and tonal shifts and town shifts, and also how they cut different things, jump cuts, J cuts, V cuts, like all of these different things and how they're used to propel the story forward. And now I'm always looking out for this kind of stuff. So I don't want to bore anybody too much with the boring jargon or
fucking up
filmmaking.
Fucking up movies for you forever.
But these things are all on point to a high degree. And like I said, I would love to talk to you more about this movie. I'm going to wait, because I don't want to spoil you a single thing.
Okay.
Because
I respect it.
You know what's coming, and then it doesn't. And you just gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. For the surprises.
And I want people to understand, like, if you've listened to us up until this point, then you know how real an endorsement that is, because we spoil the fuck out of everything all the time. If you've never listened to us, I want you to understand that him not spoiling this movie means fucking so much,
Listen,
so goddamn much.
This movie isn't Gone with the Wind or anything like that.
Right.
But this movie is timely as fuck with its subject matter, and it was a well-written, well-produced, well-directed, well-acted movie. It wasn't 100% perfect, and I think when you see it, you see some of the missteps.
Right.
Every movie's gonna have it, but hey, just watch it. Watch it now, so I can fuck you guys up next week about it.
And see, honestly, like it kind of sounds a little like Lovecraft Country. Like it sounds like it's on that same type of plane, maybe a little more extreme because it's a movie and not a series.
It's different, but a lot of people will put any movies that deal with black issues in the same pot.
Right, yeah.
So I would just say these are both black movies that deal with, they have black protagonists and they deal with black issues. Granted, at two different time frames, they're very different, but if you like watching black shit, then
you'll probably fuck with this.
There you go. Before we get out of here, is there anything we're missing from this week?
Me dropping my phone? Yes. We're missing.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff we didn't cover. A whole bunch of stuff is happening on Big Brother and NBA stuff, but I know you're not really into sports that much right now.
Wait, who gives a fuck about Big Brother? What?
Some of my people's on Big Brother right now. You got Davon and Bailey, who are both originally from Big Brother, but have both been on the challenge, is on there. Paulie Califiore, who I interviewed on Love War Challenges in the Hit List podcast, he's originally from Big Brother, and his brother, who was on Big Brother before him, is currently back on this season. So yeah, some of my people's on. I don't watch Big Brother, but some of my people's is on, so I got to keep an ear out. Did we miss anything from this week?
I would definitely want to touch on the RZA situation.
Yes, RZA sold his catalog to Hypnosis, half his catalog, but he's also not the first one.
He is not.
A lot of people have been doing it. I think they grabbed something like 20,000 songs. I remember just a couple of weeks we were talking about No ID.
Yes,
sold a large portion of his catalog.
Okay, here's what I want to talk about with that. Right, so we don't know how much they sold it for. There's so many variables, right?
So check that out. This is what I do understand about it.
Okay.
So when he sold half his catalog, it wasn't so much like half of his songs, just half the earnings for all his songs. So it's his whole catalog, but just half the earnings for it. So it's every song.
No, well, from what I read, it's half. It's like 800 something songs. And I don't understand how 814 songs is half your catalog. That's fucking bananas. Like, what? That's half? That's like 10 times more than other people's entire catalogs. But whatever, it's fine. So he gave this up. And from the article I read, he gave up even the writing credits to those songs. So I'm very curious. I am personally very curious as to how much he got for that, if there are any residuals involved, which I doubt because he gave up writing credits on them. And the biggest question I have is, what is the end game? When you give up these songs, when you give up this level of legacy, what's the end game? Are you...
So I got a thought on that. So
please.
I think what the end game is a huge cash payout. So you got these residuals.
Wait, just a one time? Or...
I believe it is one time, and I do believe they still get a portion of what's going to be used in the future. Hypnosis is playing the long game. So these artists, what I believe and what they're seeing from it, they take these huge payouts, which is pretty much a advance on future earnings. Say you're earning, $1.2 million a year from all of your royalties, and I know it varies between artist to artist, but let's just say you get $1 million a year. So they're saying, hey, we're going to buy a catalog, we're going to own it for, and these things are never 100%, like forever. So it's just like, hey, you're getting $1 million a year from your earnings.
Honestly, we don't know. We don't know what these contracts
we don't
are.
Know. I know with different artists is different because some of them are only for because some of it is licensing.
Right. Exactly.
So what I'm understanding is a lot of these artists have a mixed bag kind of deal. So some of it, but basically they're saying like, hey, you're getting $1 million a year. We're gonna give you $50 million now, and we'll take care of the rights, and we'll use them for commercials. Radio stations or whatever, we'll recoup it that way. And then at some point it reverts back to, their estate or their family after several years or forever, however they worked out the deal. But I think what a lot of artists are saying right now is just like, yeah, I'm getting some money every year, but I'm getting this huge cash payout for it now, which in some cases can be a good thing. It depends on that artist's situation. But I think I think Hypnosis is playing the long game, and I think that a lot of the artists are comfortable with having their intellectual property in their hands, because you haven't heard anything really bad come from this so far. Everybody seems to be really, really happy. And
Right.
One of the things that Hypnosis has said that really stuck to me is that we treat every song like it's its own business. So what I think is they're taking these big cash advance payouts. Hypnosis is milking these songs for all of the money it possibly can. I think everybody's eating. And the main thing is, if the artist who created the music, who is giving up some of the rights to this music, is happy with it, I don't have a problem with it.
I mean, but at the same time, we've seen artists who have been very short-sighted with their worth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they could
check
be.
this out. Does No ID and the RZA seem short-sighted?
No, they don't. They don't. But
And that's not just them. They're buying a lot of current pop music. The Baby, Taylor Swift.
now stop. You cannot put these current artists in the same category that you put No ID and RZA. Okay.
But Hypnosis is buying across the spectrum.
Right.
And they're all happy with it.
Right. They're all happy with it now. But how many people were happy with their record deals when they first signed them? You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's like what we're dealing with is we're dealing with a technological era, we're dealing with a digital era, we're dealing with new shit. And a lot of people are maybe short-sighted in what these things mean. And if you look at, okay, for instance, De La Soul is a perfect example. When they signed,
I think they sold their catalog too.
But they didn't do it purposely. They were caught up in old record deals. And those old record deals, when retranslated to the digital era, led to them getting like pennies on the dollar for streams and things of that nature. So this Hypnosis, you know what I'm saying, buying up all of this stuff, Taylor Swift has already been screwed by her record label once. Mm-hmm. Should we really be banking on her knowledge of how shit works?
Well, one, some people got to learn their lesson the hard way. And I think Taylor learned that lesson the hard way. I don't think we're ever going to see her getting screwed again in a record deal. But have we become so cynical that maybe when a company comes along and does it the right way and takes care of the artist, are we so cynical to believe that they're still out there to fuck them up?
Well, because and I feel like I am, because we don't know the details of shit. There's no transparency.
We don't, but I would like to think that the artists do.
Well, we thought the artists did when they signed their original contracts.
No, I stopped assuming that a long time ago.
Well, yeah, but no. But I'm saying, like, we're talking about artists who signed their contracts how long ago? And it's like, you would think that, yeah, you know what you're doing. Like, you're dope. So clearly you know what you're doing when you're signing this contract. And they don't.
I thought we all assumed that first deal, you were going to get fucked.
Why? But why though?
That's the way the industry is.
And this is what drives me fucking nuts. Because if you look at any other thing, if you look at movies, if you look at sports, if you look at anything like that, maybe the first generation gets fucked. Anyone after that doesn't, because they're like, oh no, he got fucked.
Not all the time. A lot of times it's still that first day you get fucked. Remember they always talk about those doe-eyed girls who moved to LA to start their movie career? And sometimes starts off in porn.
You're talking different. You're talking different.
Now check this out. The NFL even instituted this, and thank you, Andrew Luck and Matt Stafford, for fucking this up for everybody. Rookie deals. Guess what? Your first 5 years, you're going to show and prove. Nobody's cashing out crazy in that first deal now. Now you have a rookie deal. All rookies get paid the same. Your second deal is where you make all the money, because rookie deals are now capped in the NFL.
But this is what I'm talking about. See, that's where someone has actually paid attention to a situation and they've created a standard for it. So it's like, you know what you're getting into when you walk into it. You know what I'm saying? So whether you thought you were going to make all these millions or whatever, like, you know what it is. Whether it's high or low, you know what it is. What I'm saying is, these people, when it comes to these music deals, there's no standard. So it's like these people walk in and it's like somebody could tell you, like, oh, I'm going to give you $50,000. And somebody who's broke is just like, oh, shit, yes.
Yeah, I take it.
Please.
They bank on that.
Right.
They bank on that.
Right. And it's like they get taken advantage of. And it's unfortunate because there is no standard when it comes to creativity. There's no standard when it comes to creatives, whether it's YouTube, whether it's music, whether it's acting, whatever it is. No, that's not true. Acting has standards because they have a fucking union, which music doesn't, and that's a fucking issue. But
they really should probably think about that.
I really wish they would, and Joe Budden's been talking about that for years. But whatevs. But yeah, no, people need to find standards, and people need to figure out what they're really worth and abide by that. And unfortunately, in the music industry, so many people are signing over their masters and their rights to their music to companies like Hypnosis. You don't have control anymore. So we could be listening to Wu-Tang shit on a fucking kid's cartoon, dumbed down and censored, and there's not a fucking thing RZA could do about it because he signed over those rights. And they can make $1 million off of that, and we don't know is what I'm saying. There's no transparency.
But the artist knows all of these things. They're signing them over willingly, at least to this company. And nobody so far has anything bad to say. So, I mean, I would like to think that these artists, especially with people like, the Riz and Taylor Swift, they have their lawyers. They looked over the deal. They're happy with the deal.
I don't see that.
That's because you're black, and us giving up ownership for anything always seems like a bad idea.
It seems suspect as fuck to me.
But all I'm gonna say is have a little. I don't know the word, but
no,
I don't want to say give the benefit of the doubt.
You can't say have a little faith. There's nothing you can say.
Don't be so cynical that maybe a company comes along and gets it right. Maybe they got it right. Hey, we took what you're making now, or what you could make. We split the difference, and this is what we're willing to pay you. And if it ends up being worth more, you have this automatic kicker that we don't know that. But maybe
that would be.
Do.
But see, and this is what makes me question it, because if that was the case, why wouldn't they want people to know that? Wouldn't that make more artists want to come to them? Wouldn't the transparency bring more business to them? Why hide it?
Maybe the transparency is amongst other artists. But that's how I feel about it.
Whatever.
Now, it's almost time to get out of here. But before we do, I like to take it down to a little place that I like to call.
Look at him making love to the microphone.
Choo choo. Recommendation station. Yeah. Now, my recommendation, you are going to fucking love.
Am I?
Because I'm going to give you the basis of it. And the basis of it is something you couldn't give a fuck less about seeing.
Oh, well, I don't see why I'm going to love this, but go for it.
So, the name of it, and it just got acquired by Netflix, is Cobra Kai.
Oh, I'm out.
I used to have YouTube TV.
I'm out.
Nah. Listen.
Okay, I'm listening.
I had YouTube TV, and what came with it was YouTube Red. Now, when it first came out, Cobra Kai is a continuation of The Karate Kid.
Right.
Now, I seen the first episode a while ago, and the first episode was great. It really was great. I'm just like, but it was YouTube Red. I'm like, the show's great, but, whatever. Never went back to watch it. Come find out, Netflix bought the whole entire series outright from YouTube. They're like, we want all of it.
Okay.
And so it's on YouTube. So I checked it out on YouTube. I started watching it last night. I was like, I've already seen the first episode. Let's go ahead and rewatch it. And I got wifey with me. It's very hard for us to like a show that we both watch. Like anytime I find a show that we both love, it is fucking gold to me.
Right.
It's like, because it's great. Because we have such different tastes. We just like different shit.
Right. No. It totally makes sense. And I completely agree with you.
Ask me what time I went to bed last night.
Oh, shit.
We almost knocked out the whole first. And mind you, we started watching at like 9, 10 o'clock. We ain't go to bed till like 3 something.
Oh,
couldn't wake up again to watch more. Listen, it is a reboot It's not really a reboot. It's just a continuation.
Mm.
Hey, let's this movie took place in what 1985 or some shit.
Right,
We're
just
just gonna
throwback
pick
shit.
it. We're just gonna pick it back up in 2018. What are these guys doing now? Let me tell you something. This is a continuation of a old property done in 100% the right way. First off, above everything else, it is funny. You're going to laugh. It is funny. 2, it honors all of the stuff about the movies that we loved, but not in a cheesy way. Most of it is just in a funny way. And I don't want to spoil it too much.
Right.
Because you got to watch this. But basically, the story is not from Daniel's point of view. It's from Cobra Kai's point of view. It's Johnny. So Johnny is the protagonist of the story.
I like
and
that.
It's even better. But he ends up starting up Cobra Kai again, which hasn't been started up forever. And one of the best scenes about honoring what came before it and what's now is like, you know how Daniel had to wax on, wax off?
Right.
So he got this kid, he's training him to be the next karate, and he's washing the windows. He goes, hey, do you want me to wash these any specific way? He goes, nah, I don't give a fuck. And just keeps it pushing. They don't even give it a beat more than that. And it's little shit like that. That's funny. Let's say Daniel's son's student is in a tournament, and he hurt his shoulder. He goes, all right, hold on 1 second. Medic, this kid's hurt.
Like, no ancient healing, no exactly. Bullshit.
So it revisits those things that we loved about the first, and it makes it. You just watch it. Just watch it. Listen, and watch it with Shorty. You're not going to regret it. Like, and trust me. The premise sounds like something you never want to watch. Don't get me wrong, we all loved the Karate Kid. We all did. We loved it in 1988.
Right.
Yeah, it was a great thing. Man, go watch it. It is so worth it. So worth it. Mainly because you get that sense of nostalgia. It is updated properly.
With
and
something
most
new.
Importantly, it is funny. Don't get me wrong, they do ham it up at points.
Of course.
And there's some shit that you just see coming from a mile away. And because they're training new students, you got these new students with 2018 teenage problems.
Right.
Which I think is probably the worst thing fucking ever. A 16-year-old problem in 2018.
Nobody wants to hear that shit.
Cobra Kai on Netflix, season 3 should come out later on this year.
Okay.
What do you got for our people?
I'm gonna go back to something I was talking about earlier. Fucking Food Wars, bro. Like, Food Wars.
Food Wars or Midnight Diner?
No. Food Wars.
Which one's better?
Don't do that.
All right.
Don't do that.
I withdraw the comment.
Thank you. Because, like, I'm not.
I got you. Everything doesn't need to be a competition.
It doesn't.
Good is good, bad is bad.
Right. Honestly, if you have the opportunity to, watch them both. Oh shit. Okay. So my recommendation just became Midnight Diner. Because if I had to choose one over the other, I would definitely say the sublime, low-key tone of Midnight Diner is more accessible to people, especially now. Like, we're living in a time where social interaction isn't common, or at least it shouldn't be if you're following the fucking rules.
A lot of people aren't.
Right.
Fucking idiots.
But if you are living life in this new normal, social interaction is something sparse for you. And watching Midnight Diner gives you this sense of not just social interaction, not just being a part of people's lives, but it's being a part of people's lives in a culture that's not your own. And seeing the things that matter to them, seeing the connections that these people have, seeing the Jesus, it's just so subtle, so low key, And that's the best word that I can use to tie it together. Like there's aspects of melodrama, there's aspects of uh like over the top kind of like conversations and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's just the interactions between the characters that mean so much. And then food. And then you learn how to make like certain little dishes and stuff like that from episode to episode. And I told Rook, I told him, I was like, listen, you're gonna watch the show and you're gonna want to move to Japan. And he's like, I think he just finished Midnight Diner and he's on to Midnight Diner Tokyo Stories. And he's just like, yeah, if I could just open a diner in Japan, I'd be fucking happy. Like he wants to just throw his life away.
Hey, you know what? Money's cooking skills he's really upgraded them. So,
Bruh, like
I give him props. Yo, he cooked for the team before. So,
I mean, and it's very nice to be able to kind of immerse yourself in something that's not super competitive, not super dramatic, not super there's just no stress to it, and honestly, like for those
that's crazy you say that, because as soon as you said that, I start trying to imagine, like, what do I watch that doesn't have high levels of stress?
exactly
Fucking nothing.
exactly
I just built some acoustic panels for the room,
mm.
and watching the YouTube video of how to properly put everything together. That's like the last time I can think of watching something that didn't have any stress. And even then, I had the stress of like, damn, can I build this shit? I never built a wooden frame.
I bet somebody else is doing it better.
Wrapped in. I'm going to show you this shit after I'm done. You are going to be fucking impressed.
Bro. And it's like, I think that's one of the things that I really love about it. It's just like, it's escapism at its finest. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, especially nowadays, like people I feel like cook more than they used to and things like that. And it's like watching someone just cook simple comfort foods for people who have almost kind of like comedically odd requests. It just feels nice. So Midnight
we
Diner.
We can all use a little bit of that.
Right. So Midnight Diner on Netflix, Midnight Diner Tokyo Stories on Netflix. Check it out. Just go ahead and get lost in a world that is not your own and escape the competition that you probably live in every day of your life.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yo, good recommendation. Good recommendation. That's going to do it for us today on August 30th, 2020.
I do.
Go ahead.
Do want to give a shout out for this super crispy, clean white tea that I have on. The Adani, although I do not look like an Adonis. The Adani 2007 collection. This is a Black owned clothing company. They do bags, they do clothing and things like that that I found on Instagram. I fuck with them. I copped the t-shirt. I love it. I did the Roosevelt blue and gold. Yeah. That's for us. But yeah. Shout out to them.
21.
Yeah. Shout out to them. Exit 21. You know what I'm saying? And they are also it's a New York company. So anytime I could support Black people and I could support New York at the same time, I'm all about that. So shout out to Adani 2007 on Instagram, MMVII, because Roman numerals, it makes everything look more fancy.
It really does.
Yeah. Check them out if you get an opportunity to. They got a lot of high quality shit, and I can tell you right now, this t-shirt, Jesus, it feels fucking wonderful. My God.
No doubt. Send me their so we can repost them, and I can take a look, see if there's anything there I like. So make sure you follow me at Malik at MTV_Malik. Make sure you check out shopthechallenge.com for all of your custom challenge gear. If you're into that shit, make sure you follow Ace at
Ace Metaphor, which you can totally see because you're watching the video.
It's literally it's right there.
Like,
I got my mirror
right there.
Reversed.
I don't know.
It's all fucked up.
Whatever. Ace
Yes.
Metaphor on Instagram, 1245music.com. That's where you can find literally everything that I do, including the music, because I'm a rapper. So yeah.
Make sure you check me at lwcpodcast.com, and make sure you check out 224 The Basement at facebook.com/224 The Basement.
Oh yeah.
That's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Ace Metaphor. This is 224 The Basement. Take care.
Peace.